Now.
I tell you, it's a great feeling to be able to touch all aspects of this defense. You know, obviously, Coach House did a phenomenal job. So big shoes to fill there. The nice thing is I don't have to worry about doing it by myself. I got a lot of really capable people to lean on, people that have been there before. So, you know, in terms of being your first time calling, I couldn't have a better situation in that regard. So.
How much does it?
First day in pads it's kind of what you expected. It was a little sloppy. You know, you got young guys or guys that are trying to prove themselves. So, you know, technique probably wasn't quite as crisp as we'd like, but what it does is it allows us to go on tape, give us some corrections. You know, it's always, you know, you're going to be coming off a spring break, so you're going to have to do a little bit of reteaching there, but it's something that we're excited to have the pads on finally. Again, to see some guys and watch the competition and see how it goes through the next 12 practices.
Right, obviously you probably wouldn't want to have to replace as much as you do on defense, but is there some part that everybody's kind of starting at the same spot with you having a new job and basically a new defense in the second two months?
Well, yeah, you know, from a position standpoint, you would say there's, we'll use the word youth in that, or inexperience, but so yes, in that regard, we're all sort of starting from that place. The nice thing is, it's not like we're starting from scratch. I mean, our defense is our defense. Coach Stoops hasn't changed in the last 7 years, and so that's a positive. We can build on that. And again, we've got enough veteran guys that they know the calls, they know the checks, and they can set an example. And that's what we need. We need guys to step up and set examples for others, because a lot of the young guys, they don't know yet. You know, the mid-years, all those guys, they're going to have to learn, you know, what our standard is, you know, how we play.
You got to replace a big guy. Josh Allen. Who's some of the candidates for that?
Well, you know, I mean, Boogie's played, so, you know, Boog's really got to, you know, we're expecting him to up his game, but, you know, it's really open competition out there, you know, and we'll see. You know, it's just the first day of pads. You never want to say, hey, this is going to be the guy that steps in, this is the guy I want to see. Hey, I really, in my mind, at any position, I'm not pulling for one guy, you know, I'm not hoping this guy takes it. I just want to see the competition and the best ones playing, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a way to get the best 11 on the field in the proper situations, and every situation isn't going to be the same. And what we need to do personnel-wise, we'll find a way to get those best 11 on the field.
Is Boogie going to stay at Sam, or are you going to try him out at Jack, or is it just a process as you're feeling?
Yeah, it's kind of a process. I think when you look at Josh, you know, Josh was a Sam for 3 years before he became a Jack. I think he'll get some reps there at Jack just to get comfortable with it, but right now his primary position is still Sam, but he's going to have to be a guy, again, like at this point in Josh's career, that you now have to start taking that next step. And, you know, Josh progressed from his sophomore to junior year. You know, he had that great start to his junior year, and then he learned how to finish as a senior. So he had it in the front and the back end. You know, so we're still in that process.
What kind of advice did Dean and Mark give you to going from position coach to coordinator and play caller?
You know, I think the biggest thing they said was be you. You know, don't try to be someone else. You know, don't try to be Coach Hood. Don't try to be Coach House. Don't try to be Coach Stoops. I've got to be me. The way I coach is the way I coach. But our defense is our defense. And, you know, there may be some nuances here or there. You know, the way I coach or call a game may be slightly different here or there, you know, based on feel and flow. But again, I don't think there's going to be that much change in that regard.
What would you like a Brad White defense to be known for?
You know what? We've talked about, I think we want people, when they turn on the film, right, wrong, or indifferent. Right? Everybody wants a great scoring defense. Everybody wants a top 10 defense. But I think that's a byproduct of when you turn on the film, you got 11 guys flying the ball every single down. You got 11 guys playing violent with their hands every single down. They've got their eyes in the right place. They're playing with technique, right? All those things, nothing requires talent there. You know, What it does require is effort and strain, you know, and sticking to the technique that each of the position coaches are teaching.
What are your early impressions of Jon Sumrall?
I think he's a phenomenal football coach. You know, we're excited to have him, but I think I mentioned it earlier. I think we've got great position coaches across the board. You know, with Coach Klink and Coach LeBlanc and Coach Hood and Coach Sumrall, they're all really, really good technicians. You know, in terms of what they're teaching their position groups, and you know, I think with, you know, I'm still obviously with the outside backers again. I think we have really good coaches, teachers, communicators. It's funny, you know, you sort of step into this role, and I went out to Louisville and did a clinic out there, and I heard Coach LeBlanc speak on D-line plays. He was speaking in front of me, and I always knew he was a great coach, you know, because you're out there, you listen and talk to his players, communicate the whole deal. When he did his talk out in Louisville, we are just really, really lucky to have him coaching our D-line. And you can see it. You can see the progression with those guys. And we're looking for another jump this year. We need those guys to play big for us.
What do you see from Jared Casey so far as far as one or two on campus?
You know what, I think the raw ability's there, but he's a mid-year freshman. He's a guy that should still be in high school. So he's just learning through the process. It's really too early to say anything this way or that, but there are definitely encouraging signs there, and we're really excited to have him be a part of this team and this defense.
Right, obviously with Coach Stoops and his background and so forth, the defensive coordinator, what is your relationship like, and his input in what you're doing, and what kind of resources is he for somebody in your position?
Oh, I mean, you couldn't have a better resource. I mean, he's been through it, he's seen it all, and he's been great, you know, to work with. And you know, obviously he'll provide his input. He's in meetings. He understands what we're doing, but I think he also respects us as football coaches and sort of the way we've got this in terms of progression and how we're installing the defense, where we're looking to go. I think you know, he's excited about, you know, sort of what we've got going again, because we don't have to change a lot of things. Now there may be little things here or there that are more noticeable to us as coaches than maybe the naked eye, but again, why fix what's not broken? I mean, you saw what we did last year. Now it's just about finding the guys that can execute the technique like the guys that did last year.
Having to replace the defensive backfield, having coaches like Coach Stoops, this is been a week. It's got to be a help to you, right?
There's no question. And I think Coach Stoops might have mentioned it before, is the staff continuity there. We've only changed, you know, one position. You know, I'm still with the outside backers. I may be calling the defense now, but all we did was replace inside linebacker coach, bringing in Coach Sumrall. So from a secondary perspective, Coach Klink, Coach Hood, and then obviously Coach Stoops, you know, with his background and expertise there, we're in a good spot. Now, there's a lot of football left, and you know, there's some inexperience at that position, but we'll see who elevates. That's the beauty of, I think, the college game. That's exciting. I know in the past people have asked a lot about the difference between pro and college. You know, in college, you know that you're going to have to go through turnover, because you can't have guys more than 4 years. You know, it can't be, hey, this guy, he's in his 10th year here in this defense. But so it's not like it's new. Teams across the country have to replace guys, but we've got guys in the system, and we're excited to see how spring progresses.
You said the defense is the defense, but you've got, as you mentioned, a lot of young players, a lot of experience. How much can you tweak? Will you have to tweak because of that, or is that pretty much built into the system that has the adaptability to be able to do that?
You know what? I think it's a little bit of both. You know, until guys get comfortable, I don't think you can, you know, have quite as expansive a playbook. But the thing I think that we've done and that we're building it is that it doesn't matter who it is. You know, that specific technique no matter whether it's a senior, a freshman. That is the technique, and that's how we're going to teach it. We're going to teach it to that standard, the standard that we're looking for that specific technique. And so at that point, it becomes replaceable parts. Hey, if I need to take, you know, a boundary corner and put him in the field, if I need to take a guy that's primarily a free safety and put him at strong safety, they understand those techniques. They've heard those techniques before, and it's going to be taught no matter who that body is. And so as many interchangeable parts as we can have, the better. And I think that's why, you know, simple, concise, you know, defense, not having a bunch of checks here and there, that causes confusion at times. Now, it may look perfect on a blackboard, but it's rarely perfect on a football field. So as much as we can get them playing fast, the better.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.